I'm Steve Rispin, and I'm the engineer. And
this be your studio?
this is, yes, we are indeed in our studio here, yeah, at Liscombe Park, which is very lovely. Yep.
English countryside, yes. I'm John Young, and I play keyboards and sing on the record, and wrote the tunes. And this is?
I'm Frosty Beadle. I played drums on the record, and the three of us are basically the nucleus of Lifesigns.
Apart from one who's missing.
Apart from one who's missing, yeah, he's away.
So our bass player Nick, who plays bass and stick and sings backing vocals. There you have it.
I suppose he first started off when, about 5 years ago, I suppose, wasn't it? When John at that point was living next door to me, and he used to come hammering on the door in the middle of the night going, listen to this, and stuff like that. So, but yes, it was about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And Frosty came in about 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago.
Was
yeah.
Nick about the same time as well?
Nick was roughly the same time.
Yeah.
Started with a phone call with me. You won't remember me, my name's John Young. Do you want to come and play in my band? Okay, yeah. Send me some stuff. And it was something called the John Young Band, which is something else. And then the Lifesigns material became to be introduced during this period, and that's how I got drawn in and recorded the drums here in the studio about a year ago. And after that time we got guitar parts from various different people. We've had contributions from Teish van Leer, who was the flautist you heard on that track called Fridge Full of Stars, Steve Hackett, and Jacko Jacksek also.
And Robin Bolt.
And Robin Bolt. Oh, how can I forget Robin? Sir Robin.
Sir Robin, yes.
Well, one of the elements that I've noticed over the last few years has been the music that we were into in the early 70s. Our various kids are now into it, and so it's kind of, it's perhaps missed a generation, but the younger kids these days seem to be more into it than they were last year, for example. I don't know why that should be, but
maybe it's discovery. I mean, I was in the post office yesterday, and I saw two young lads going in, and I thought, you know what, they're both sort of growing their hair a bit and whatever, and I thought, I bet they'd love what we're doing. And as they got to the counter, one of them took his jacket off, and he was wearing a Stackridge t-shirt, and I thought, perfect, you know.
yeah.
So maybe, you know, it is that voyage of discovery now for you know, people who are looking outside of the envelope of what they're given, you know, and using the internet maybe to find things that excite them.
And exactly, I mean, what they've been given over the last 10, 15 years is the same. In many ways, I think, in the commercial world, lots of one-hit wonders, no bands with longevity, and maybe, I mean, if I was in their shoes, I'd want to look back and see what went before, because I'd find it very hard to believe, is this all there is?
From my point of view, I think we all took it on board. If we go back a bit, we looked at the prog scene as it stands, and there were things that we found we didn't necessarily like or agree with in the way that it was in inverted commas progressing. And somebody once said to me a long time ago, well, if you can do any better, you know. And I thought, well, we can give it a go, and why not? You know, let's see if we can make things work. And I think there were a number of things that we looked at in terms of the musical content, as to how you approach the musical content. So we tend to think that the music is uplifting, and we think a lot of that is down to the fact that we play in major keys rather than minor keys.
Well, not exclusively.
Not exclusively,
yeah.
But you know, again, lyrically, we looked at, rather than making our minds up for people, we let them have the option to make their own mind up as to what the songs are about and how they feel about them and what they mean to people. And I think also we use a number of tricks, which we won't go into all of them, but which we enjoy musically. And if you enjoy searching into something in a bit of a cryptic way, you can find these things. And so rather than being something that just leaps off the page and is just there and that's it, you can keep searching for years to come and still find these things hidden in the music.
Very good question. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Well, currently we've got 3 different guitar players on this. We're going to have to find someone who can do it permanently. And I reckon that we're also going to need a second keyboard player. Mainly because if John's doing vocal duties, he can't really have, you need an extra couple of arms to do it all. So, given those extra members, it should actually be feasible to do it.
We'll find a way of doing it sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the problem for me from the vocal side of things is that we already have the John Young band, which is great fun, and the songs are, we really enjoy doing it, but this takes far more vocal effort, and that takes away from your ability to play in some respects, in terms of, you can't even see straight sometimes, you're pushing the vocal so hard, so that's, that changes everything.
But because we're going to actually have to have new touring members at least, there's going to be a certain amount of rehearsal time, and basically we're not going to be appearing down the Dog and Duck tomorrow. It's going to have to be a bit more elaborate than that. So we'll see how the album goes.
The effort we're going to have to put into all of that means it's going to have to be something that we think is worthwhile for everybody. It's got to be something that's representative of what we've recorded, and that is the main thing. We just don't want to go there with like.
What Frosty and Steve are trying to say, dear viewer, is we need to sell some records before it should go out live.
Yes, because we're skint after that.
Obviously, thank you to our guests, Steve Hackett and Robin Bolt and Jacko Jaksic for wonderful guitars, to Sir Tyche Fenlier for his wonderful flute, to Nick, who isn't here, but we miss him and love him dearly, and to the boys, and to Martin as well. Thank you for helping us out here. So it's really cool. Album should be out in January towards the end of January, we think, on Esoteric Records.